The heroes were harried by wisps yet again. Even in those depths, the signs of swamp and marsh manifested in the strange basins of fetid water. A more potent breed of wisp among them, known as a spell void. These creatures seemed to merely toy with the heroes as they absorbed their magic and fought from the safety of their own natural invisibility. Frustration filled the heroes as the wisps seemed nigh impossible to overcome. But Lump managed to outmaneuver one and allow Krucka to put it down. But that was when the wisps retreated to their basins, and into the room entered the ghost of Belcora. Confronting the heroes again with her patronizing threats and insults, she demonstrated the power she was so insistent they fear, and wiped Krucka's mind of all its faculties, leaving him nothing more than a walking empty shell, a book without a word written within.
So, the first time I was up in Vancouver, the gang and we all went to an escape room where we shot dinosaurs. And it was a lot of fun. Great experience. But James said something there that has been living in my head rent-free since he said it. And it's just the fact that, like, in our group, we all have a bunch of very weird skills and we do work very well together. And I kind of realized last night as I was falling asleep that we could be a band. And I don't know what genre we would play, but I'm just saying we got James on bass. We got Dunk on keyboards. I can play drums. Freeman. And Scott is obviously the charismatic mullet frontman.
Excuse me?
Well, I mean, it would be hype man because I can't sing. So basically, it's got to be like nu metal, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's just frontman.
I love nu metal, so I'm here for it. You would not believe how many times I've seen Mudvayne live.
We'd play like a Baroque black metal polka. That's what I was thinking, because I'd play the accordion, obviously.
Well, no, I think given last episode, you'd be the manager that stabs us all in the head
and takes our money.
That's right. Get him done.
But also plays the accordion and the tin whistle. Start making us call him Colonel Freeman.
I think it would be a really. I think a band. I know where you're coming from, but I think a band would be a bad idea because James would want to do ska or pop punk, and I would rather die.
Okay, so Freeman's out of the band because I'm on board for both of those other ones.
I'm on board with both.
We don't have enough people to form a ska band, so it would have to be like real ska, like Trojan label ska, or it would have to be pop punk because you only really need one person to do that.
That's true. But God, yeah, just I don't know. Like we do have a very weird like set of skills in terms of just like our personalities and the way that we work together. Like it was, I I don't know, just a lot of fun hanging out with y'all. And I guess I haven't really talked about the trip to Vancouver that much since I got back. But yeah,
Sorry, Dunk.
Yeah,
we purposely
We're gonna
made
get
sure
Dunk one
Dunk
of these
couldn't
times.
come.
Oh yeah, no, I was busy sleeping several times on the way.
I actually tried to like see if we could figure out how to get Dunk here. Right, Dunk and I had a conversation about it. It's like, what can we do to make it happen? And it didn't really pan out.
Yeah, someday.
But definitely someday. Yeah.
And then the band will be united, and then
And then I'll be on my way out.
we'll get the battle of the bands on the go.
I guess it is kind of a wonderful thing though, because you're right. We have all these different things that we add to the group, and that is usually what musters a really great creative cooperative experience. It's not, if you're all the same person, you don't really produce anything interesting. I would argue you produce just something very specific and very it's something without a lot of variety. To have all these different personalities and different skill sets kind of pooling in on the same thing and managing to like make it work without having too much friction, like that's what usually creates something really beautiful. It's not about being the same people that want the same thing. It's about being different people that want the same thing. And I think it works pretty good.
That was very genuine, Freeman. But I asked a question, and I said, what would we name our band?
The Barn Suckers. No, wait.
No.
The Barn Suckers.
Yeah.
Thinking about the context of it, let's strike that from the record.
That's worse than the Barn Muckers.
How about barn it all down?
I was
gonna
ahead
go
of the
with-
band though.
I
So.
was going to go with Chart Toppers to tie it into Uncharted North, but yeah, I think Barn Burners is better.
I once had a joke with a chef that I worked with that he loved like punk music and stuff, and I was learning, or was still playing the accordion kind of newish, and I was like, we should form a black metal polka band. It'd be great. We'll call ourselves Punching Nuns. And leave it up to the audience to decide whether or not the nuns are doing the punching or we're the ones punching nuns.
Mm.
I see.
I vote for...
A lot of thought went into that name.
Yep.
Didn't think it did.
It's just his real name's David.
That's the name of the band?
Yep. All right.
What about Buddy Barber?
That's actually pretty good.
That's actually pretty fucking good. Oh no.
I've got a follow-up story.
Oh no, please. Go Scott.
I've got a brand new follow-up story.
Go, buddy.
So it was just my birthday recently, and my mom e-transferred me a little bit of coin for my birthday present. And the security question was, what's your middle name? So I type in Philip, my middle name, and it goes incorrect. And then I type in Buddy, and I'm like, are you fucking gaslighting me now?
The gaslighting campaign that has always been Buddy has begun.
It's begun. Get your masks on.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
I love that it's now just a joke to your parents too.
The psychological torture is insane.
I do feel real bad for you, bud. That's
New
that's a lot.
Patreon goal. Therapist for Scott.
Oh, fuck. That's so fucked.
And maybe some oxygen for Freeman.
No.
Yeah, we've lost Freeman.
All the oxygen is gone from his head. He's going feeble-minded.
Yeah, he's like purple.
He is a little bluish, isn't he?
He's changing colors.
He's a concerning shade.
Just breathe. Just breathe.
He is, but it's only in one direction. That's the problem.
Well, he's so far away from the mic, the listeners are just going to be able to hear these little giggles throughout the whole
You
intro.
need to inhale, Freeman. Inhale.
It's like I don't know if anyone watches I Think You Should Leave, but he does a skit where he goes into virtual reality, but he can't contain or realize he's still in reality, so he stops breathing, and he's like on a game show with his kid, and they're like, "Get him out of there! Get him out of there!" And that's what Freeman's like.
Great show.
That's still so fucked. Like, your parent. Oh my god. Like, what the?
That's one of the funniest
Yeah, it's
things
pretty
I've ever
chill.
heard in my
It's
life.
pretty chill.
A second intro banter that went full into Buddy Barber mode. That's all we're gonna get out of it.
Somebody's gonna write down the lore of Buddy Barber someday.
I just
Oh, that would be a good folk punk song.
Yeah.
The Ballad of Buddy Barber.
Oh my god, that would be really good.
I just can't believe they're still haunting you with it to this day.
I know, that's so fucked up.
Also a good song title, The Haunting of Buddy Barber.
Pretty chill.
Oh god, this is the funniest shit ever.
My neck hurts so bad from laughing too much. Oh,
Oh god.
All right, Freeman, you
Happy
got a
belated birthday, by the
segue?
way.
Oh wait, no, it was Cam. Cam, you got a segue?
I did the segue, and then everyone else came off the top ropes with stuff this time.
It was a good segue too, but it got lost to time. It's Buddy Zone now.
Speaking of the buddy system, we're gonna need one for Krucka.
Hey, that's not bad.
Ouch.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, suck it, Baron. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, sorry about that. That's a phrase that I use lightly. Yeah, so Dunk we're not sure what the outcome here is, but Dunk does have a backup character that he's working on building in here just in case. But let's let the players here role play back into the situation here where the Wisp was attacked. It was a big old pain in the ass. They really honed in on Krucka. And then when finally one of them died, they all sort of retreated, and Belcora waltzed into the room again, a second time in a very short amount of time, to tease you, antagonize you, to insult you, and literally just turned Krucka into a below animal intelligence like creature. Like you just wiped his mind clean. And I can only assume that he just sort of goes a bit slack, drops the axe on the ground, and just stands there with the blankest expression possible. What do you all do?
He looks like he's thoroughly searching the walls, but there's really no intention behind it.
Just instinct, pure instinct.
What would you like me to roll to identify what has happened to our good buddy Krucka here?
Yeah, I was going to use quick recognition.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, do that. Whatever that is, do it.
I can recognize spells with a free action.
You recognize the spell, perhaps. What are the parameters for that? If it's in your spell list, you get it automatically. Something along those lines.
Yeah, and if it's a rank 10 or lower, I just automatically identify it.
Rank 10 or lower. Wow. If it's in your spell list, you're saying.
If you're a master... no, sorry, 6. Rank 6 if you're a master.
Rank 6 or lower if you're a master, and you are a master in Arcana. So arcane
Yep.
spells, arcane spell list.
To save you the effort, it's there.
Sure is arcane and occult. Okay. Yep, you know it as Nevermind. So I listed off the effects there last episode. It would have basically just made him stupefied as instead if he had failed or succeeded even. But with the critical failure, it has stripped him of pretty much all of his mental faculties. And you know exactly what's happened.
As soon as she retreats, you just hear the clank of metal against stone as, in shock, Raphael drops his longsword and just stares blankly over at Krucka, which I assume is being reciprocated.
Well, that's up to Freeman because I got no fucking agency anymore.
Yeah, like you just met with a blank stare. Like even if you manage to catch his eye, it's a look of with a complete lack of recognition or stimulus.
Never mind. And he will jump over to Krucka, put one hand on his hip and just try and get his eyes to follow his finger to try and establish the damage that's been done. And he will then begin to explain to Lump and Tulok that he has been cursed and his intelligence is bestial at this point.
Cursed. We've had to deal with afflictions like this before. With Jaw. And Tulok looks down at his hands, walking from the 5-foot hallway around the corner to take in the scene. And he sees Krutka staring off into the distance. So, Tulok has Cleanse Affliction.
Indeed.
Something new with the remaster. And he does have it heightened to 4th level.
To take care of curses.
Indeedly. So, Tulok will approach. Now, it's been a while since we've done a counteract. The counteract DC...
Yeah, you have to basically roll a... you can roll your I think
spell
your
attack.
Spell attack roll or occultism, I think. Maybe if you wanted as an option, maybe.
Nope, it is spell attack.
Spell attack roll. You have to meet the DC of the spell. And even then, it might not work. So that'll determine your outcome. That's the first thing you got to do is roll against the DC of the spell. And then if you succeed, it'll be, you counteract it if it's no more than one level higher than your effect's counteract level.
Tulok's hand is shaking slightly, realizing the power of Belcora and how difficult this could be. As the 2 summoned creatures drop over his shoulders behind him, a little bit of purple comes out of his hand as he casts guidance upon himself, and he brings his hand to Krukka's chest and will attempt.
Is it possible to aid this at all? This is a spell, right? Probably not.
You could argue for a spell attack roll to help guide the magic. That's the only thing I can think of. Or an Arcana check, maybe, to help point out parts of the curse if Freeman's amenable. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't attempt to aid.
What would you like me to roll?
I'd say it's pretty sensible for you to roll Arcana for that. The same thing that allowed you to recognize it.
Appreciate that. I was ready for occultism. That's a natural 20 for a 38.
So you get a +2, what's that, a circumstance bonus from the aid?
Circumstance, yep.
And then you get a +1 status bonus from the guidance. So you get a +3 to your attempt here, which is pretty significant.
Tulok focuses in, feeling the supportive power of Raphael, looks deep into the energy that is Krukka and finds this curse and begins to attempt to pull it out, magic building and building from inside of him. And he rolls a 32.
Failure. Not by much, I'll tell you. Not by much at all.
Fuck, that was a pretty middling roll. It was a 12.
I would trade you a hero point if I could.
You cast this spell doing your damnedest, but it seems to have no effect to this powerful something, this powerful curse that Belcora has bestowed upon your comrade. What does that make you feel? What does that make you do when you realize it's not working? When you feel like you're up against something too powerful, perhaps?
Tulok looks down at his hands, but he realizes that there's more within him than that. So, the 12 is what we call it, but for him, he just feels that that was average.
Mm-hmm.
Can I double down and try again?
I don't see why not.
So I will be casting without guidance.
You can wait. We have time, unless you just want to send it.
So, yeah, I was going to suggest we can blow the spell now and just try and get it out of the way, but I don't even think a regular success is going to get us all the way there. It might, but if we try tomorrow, I can use my guide to timeline on you. At attack roll or a skill check, you roll twice and you take a higher effect. I guess this would count as a skill check. No?
Okay, on the meta level, like, Scott needs to roll a 20 to get rid of this curse.
I'm sorry. I'm still struggling a little bit about the counteract rules because we don't do it very often.
So he only has access to rank 4 spells, correct? Or do you have access to rank 5, Scott?
4.
Just 4. Let's assume he succeeded. What does that mean for counteract, Cam?
Because it is a level 6 spell, it will not work. It needs to be a critical success to succeed against something that's 2 levels higher.
Yeah, it needs to be critical success. Yeah.
That's easy.
You just got to roll a 20.
Yeah. 1 in 20 shot.
20 or a 10 above, whatever it is, which is not low.
I believe in you.
We know we'll be in the mid 40s.
Yeah, so that's my point. Like,
Yeah. You absolutely, you could feel the power of this magic. That's for sure. You could feel that it is incredibly potent, incredibly difficult to get past. It is not technically out of your reach. You can try again, Scott, if you want to spurn the spell slot. Roll that die, as it were.
Tulok looks at his companions. Perhaps we should wait an hour. I can cast guidance on myself again and try again. This is going to be very, very difficult. But I believe we should try.
I would agree. But it could be better to lick our wounds in town, Master Tulok. If I have a night, I can work with the flows of time to perhaps aid you, and possibly we could use assistance of maybe Morlabent or the Dawnflower.
Let's leave this place then.
I'd like to take a little bit just to patch ourselves up in case we run into anything on the way out. Krucka, if you're in there, please hold still. And Lump will begin to treat some wounds.
And Tulok has a look of defeat on his face. Because he has been pressing so hard to continue to move down and move forward and to push. But that just got stuck in its tracks immediately with Krucka in this state.
Raphael will pull the rope out of his pack and a ration and tie the rope around his and Krugga's waist and just slowly give him little pieces of the ration and drinks from his water skin.
God.
You put him on a leash?
So honestly, we kind of have to. He's bestial. That means he really understands 3 things, excrete, eat, and sleep.
Yep.
Krugga just feels the water. Krugga just feels the water on his face a little bit and kind of. Krugga.
Yeah, I mean, he's essentially a green-skinned Pokemon with a giant axe at this point.
He is
Gray.
gray-skinned.
Did he,
Krugga is green-skinned.
Oh my god.
did he say his name or did he say something else?
It could have just been gas escaping. Let's hope.
No, I've heard gas escaping from Krucka. It sounds completely different.
It's thunderous.
Thunderous.
What did he say?
It sounded like Krugga.
Well, clearly his mind is feeble. That isn't a name. The name is Krucka.
Never mind.
Clearly.
Well, at least some of the syllables were correct, and there is something left in there to be saved. These are all good things, and thanks to Master Tulok, we know that Saving our companion is within our reach.
It must be done. We cannot continue without him. He is the strength behind us. Wouldn't it be funny if Raphael followed in Arthur's footsteps and started mounted combat, but he was just riding Krucka?
But over the course of 20 minutes, Lump will patch up Ruff and Krucka. I believe we're ready to head back up to the surface. And Lump kind of turns and looks a mix of emotions, anger and frustration towards the door that Belcora came through, before a deep sadness and regret at Krucka, before watching the dog walk an orc out in some weird, bizarre twist of the way things are supposed to be. With a small smile on both their lips.
Tale that's old as time.
And that's where we're going to call it.
So you make your way back to the surface?
Yeah,
Okay.
Getting there, though, we have an elevator to deal with.
You do have an elevator to deal with. Also, Lump has a new charcoal black short sword in their hand.
Did it need to be identified?
Sure does.
I think you two can handle that while Rough walks Krucka to the elevator.
Tulok could have been doing it while I was patching wounds.
Sure, that's smart. From over his shoulder, Tulok busts out the duffster.
Oh, hello, friends. What can I do for you? That was a rough fight. Couldn't see anything.
Tell me about it, Duffy.
Okay, there was nothing to be seen. Oh, it was so crazy. Every time you turned your back, I saw nothing. That's all I know about it.
I agree. If this was pre-written, as if it was in a book or something, it would just be so boring.
Oh, it would be poor craftsmanship, yes, undoubtedly.
And then for someone to inflict that upon others without thinking, maybe this would be boring for the people who are playing or potentially listening.
Oh, but you know as well as I do that people get their jollies in very different ways, Master Tulak.
Yes, there truly are some freaks out there, Duffy.
If you produce mundanity for someone else and it gives them negative feelings, some people enjoy that. Trust me, I've eaten many a book. I know all about it.
Great chat. And then just wow.
For the listener, there was some heavy subtext in there that I'm not sure if you understood.
Okay.
Is subtext? Does subtext mean that when a book is in like an in his belly in an extra dimensional space? It's like it's a sub.
Yeah, subtext is when he gets into digestion.
Yeah.
It seems to me that this strange little short, although it is not very tasty, it tastes a bit like an old barbecue. There seems to be no specific school of tradition of magic.
29 on occult.
You have identified this as the Gloom Blade.
Ooh.
It is as black as coal, and the blade grows more potent in darkness. While in bright light, it functions as a +1 short sword, despite and it doesn't appear to radiate a magic aura to detect magic or similar spells unless it is a spell of 4th rank or higher. I didn't bother bringing it up because I know you cast it at 4th rank or higher. But in dim light or darkness, the Gloom Blade suddenly functions as a +2 striking short sword. And whenever you use the Gloom Blade to attack a creature that you're undetected by, you deal an additional 1d6 precision damage.
I actually do 3rd rank detect magic.
Tulok does 4th.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's pretty chill. Except for we always have light.
Yep. it's a neat weapon, but it's very situational.
Krucka
But it looks so cool.
has dark vision.
So cool.
Perhaps once we've taken him to town and he's feeling himself again, he would like this.
Perhaps. But first we have to figure out a way to get him up and Lump's eyes traverse upwards. Like, fuck.
I have one casting of fly.
You hadn't taken the time really to look at the elevator,
That was the other thing I was going to ask. Can it be fixed?
but if you're going to make your way back around to there, by all means do. And you can see that there's definitely a series of levers and such that definitely once made it function. A lot of it is rusted machinery, but it looks like it can still be coaxed to work. Perhaps. Basically, I will need a crafting check. Perhaps.
Krucka?
It's all you, Duncan.
Fucking grab that crafter's eyepiece out of his eye and someone take it.
I'm +3 untrained.
I think Lump has good crafting as well.
No.
I gotta say this. It's gonna be that it's not so much that you need a crafting check to understand how it works. It's just gonna take. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take you an hour to kind of figure out what these controls do, because they seem to be very unintuitive. There's a few different levers. There's 4 different levers in different spots, and none of them seem to just at a flick of a lever make a difference in what it's doing. And you have to kind of trial and error it. And then once you do, after this hour, I'll have to get you to roll a flat check to operate it. But you could also, after this hour, roll a crafting check to see if you can repair parts of it to reduce said flat check.
For the sake of saving some time, Tulok, you want to go ahead and try that other one since it's going to take us an hour anyways? You can guidance and maybe we can get our boy back on a 5% chance.
Yep. Once the hour passes and Tulok feels ready again, he will stand beside Raphael, who is holding the leash, and is going to attempt again.
Ruff attempts to aid a second time with a 24.
His hand on the chest of Krucka, magic begins to radiate. He has doubts in himself now, knowing how powerful the magic is and having failed before. And he feels again that the magic is not enough.
25.
And he rolls a 25 modified up, but still not enough. I'm not powerful enough. I can't do it. We must get to town in better situations. We need rest, recuperation, strength.
You cannot do it yet, Master Tulok. Ruff will pull the crafter's eyepiece out of one of Krucka's pouches and attempt a crafting check on the elevator.
Is that what you call his eye sockets? Pouches?
You're just always wearing just a one jeweler's eyepiece?
Yeah, he looks so cool. He's going for the steampunk kind of thing.
Okay.
Is Ruffy the only one that's like reasonably capable of making this check? Yeah, looks like it.
Nobody's reasonably capable of making this check.
You are the most unreasonably capable of the group. Yeah.
To 17. Sorry, that's an 18 with the +1 for the crafter's eyepiece.
Tulok cast guidance on him.
Yeah, it's not going to do it. So you feel like you can get this thing working, but you have a DC 11 flat check ahead of you to make it work. Because basically you have to pull these levers at different times, different timings. It's not just like a pump, pump, pump in rhythm. There is like this particular method to doing it, probably for, stopping people from using it all the time.
She built the stupidest fucking elevator of all time.
This is just how early hydraulics worked, man. They're essentially steam powered. So 2 go up, 1 goes down, and then the steam, and then the other 2 would relate the pressure. I think.
Tulok takes a look at it, being a crafty guy himself every once in a while. Rolls a natural 20
Nice.
for 23. Raphael, I believe you said to put 2 down and 1 up at the same time. What a stupid design.
I love the idea that Ruff failed just because he was like hanging on one of the levers and he couldn't quite get it down. Tulok just comes over and pushes it down all the way.
Just by pushing down on Ruff's head.
Yeah.
You can fix this elevator, Master Tulok, but you can't fix Krucka.
Wow.
Uncalled for.
Wow.
From Krucka just escapes an ooh.
We're falling apart.
So with a natural 20, you actually rolled less than what you needed for a success, but the natural 20 increases it to a success.
You know what a bitch is that I literally just could have saved goddamn Krucka's life, but
Yep.
when I
Could've.
was trying to roll
Nope.
that
Not going to happen.
big 12 guy.
Now you've reduced the flat check to a 5 instead of an 11. So you have a 20% chance of this thing operating appropriately. On a critical success, the flat check would have been a 1, but because your roll was a 23, the DC was 24, we didn't quite get a critical success.
I rolled a 10.
Perfect. You get the elevator operating, and you reach the next floor.
They move to the teleportation circle, teleport, and GTFO. GTF fucking O.
The O stands for Otari.
G stands for Galarian.
T stands for Tamale.
The F stands for fuck you, Baron.
Galarian Tamale, fuck you, Bonotari. GTFO.
That's a pretty name.
I like it. Me likey. You make your way back to the home front. You've got Krucka on a leash in tow, walking into town. It is going to be, by the time you arrive, 7:15 at night.
Before we left, Ruff picked up his longsword.
Oh, you dropped it?
Yeah. Flavor text when he realized that Krucka was stupid.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you pick up Krucka's
But
axe?
what they didn't pick up was the ghost touch whip.
Ruff can't carry his axe. You drunk?
Duffy's like, I don't know if that's going to fit, boys.
Sharp end out one side, handle out the other.
But Freeman, real quick for the audience, not me, because I know exactly what day it is. What day is it, and how long has it been since I placed my order for my resilient rune?
It is the 15th. It is the 15th of Lamashon. The order will arrive in Absalom tomorrow and arrive back in Otari in 3 days.
So it takes 3 days each way?
2 days each way.
Okay.
What now? To the Dawnflower?
Not to be rude to the clerics there, but I don't believe any of them are more powerful than yourself, and so it's going to come down to you or a trip to Absalom to help Krucka. We could take him to the Dawnflower to deposit him there for safekeeping, if you wish to immediately turn around and go back in. But that is how I see our options at the moment. What do you think, Raphael?
My experience with curses in this form is limited at best. I assumed that perhaps we could find someone in Otari who would be able to aid us in the dispelling, either via casting or through a more consistent ability to direct Tulok to the source of the curse. I don't know how the fuck to say aid in character.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, you were doing a great job.
Thanks.
Perhaps we should bring him to the Dawnflower, just for some peace and some rest. We can try there. And Tulok turns to Lump and reaches into his back pocket, a little sheepishly even, and pulls out the masquerade scarf and offers it to Lump without really saying anything, because after they left and Lump said they're not Sal anymore, he's unsure as to what Lump will do.
Lump shakes their head no. I'm done. Sal is dead, and if they're going to get the pitchforks to come get me, then I will retreat to the vaults, and I'm familiar with those. The upper levels are safe, and I can begin to make my own sanctum there instead. But there is no more Sal. He is dead. There is only Lump.
Ruff will hand Lump the reins to Krucka, or lead, or whatever we're calling it.
Come on, boy. There's a nice bit of hay over here.
It's so good.
If you would make it to the Dawnflower, I would catch you up. I would like to consult Warlewin. They had some insights for me earlier, and I think perhaps they maybe have something for us now. Possibly. It couldn't hurt. I mean, we're here anyway. But I will meet you at the Dawnflower, and Lump, if anyone in Otari gives you trouble, remember that you are a friend to Tulok and myself. And we shall protect you if required. But it will not be, of course.
Lump's lips kind of purse. Like, you can tell they're on the verge of crying just a little bit at being told that they're friends. Even though they've adventured together for a while now, like, it's still just a fantasy in Lump's head. And so they'll just nod and, Tulok, do you mind coming with me? Me being me is already going to be a lot for them. Me leading a hero of Atari on a rope, there will be questions, and I'm not the best at talking to people politely.
I will come with you, of course. But perhaps I should be the one leading, Krucka. I don't want people to get the wrong idea too quickly.
You are correct. And Lump will hand the reins over to Tulok.
I didn't even think about that, but imagine the heroes of Atari coming back in bondage from the gauntlet. Like, yeah, that would probably incite a riot.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
People are like,
Is
"The
it a
fuck
sex
is
dungeon?"
happening?"
It is now. Because we got fucked in there.
Something ain't right.
Episode title. Tulok takes the reins and boops Krucka on the nose with a rolled up newspaper.
Ooh.
Off we go.
Off we go. And yeah, as they head through town, what are the looks like? Does anyone stop them?
Yeah, I mean it's a bit later at night right now, so it's it's about 7:15 in the evening, so you don't see too many people along the road. You might see the occasional guard kind of doing a bit of walking a bit of the beat, and kind of wandering along, but they might give you like that sort of concerned nod, but of appreciation to you as you walk through, but otherwise. They don't really seem to notice that you're dragging Krucka along by a lead. So I think you're pretty safe for the most part to avoid too much attention. Where is it you're heading?
Things seem relatively calm, though.
Yeah, it's because the town has a tendency to get back to status quo pretty quickly. They have work to do, they have money to make, they have lives to live. Obviously, there's been this long track record now of them prepping the city for the town for more of another attack.
But no evidence of the gauntlet having popped off in our absence.
No, nothing like that. You can see that faint glow in the distance, and there's a certain edge in the guards for that alone. But otherwise, if you went down by the Crook's Nook, you would certainly see some people in there having a drink, and definitely down at Tammany's, and end of the day's labor kind of evening like usual.
As they're walking through town, Tulok turns to Lump and says, I do respect you for wanting to move past Sal and forge your own path in life. But the name Lump, was this name given to you, or did you choose it yourself?
The name was given to me, but there's a certain level of empowerment that comes from taking something that was given to you to harm you and making it a strength. I am open to new name suggestions if you have any, but I am not offended or denigrated by the word lump.
I don't wish to push anything upon you, nor have I thought of a name that I would think to be better. I just simply want to make sure that the power that you're taking is in your hands, and I will respect whatever you decide.
Feel free to give me a nickname if you choose. I've heard it's a term of endearment or a way of showing affection.
True. I'll think on it.
Lump backwards is almost pummel, which is kind of great.
And Lump just whistles in harmony with themselves because they have two mouths.
Yucky.
It's like a whole different version of Mongolian throat singing.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, right.
Two Man Barbershop Quartet.
Don't get him started. He's a whole choir. They're a whole choir when they cast Mirror Image.
That'd be pretty dope.
Simulacrum. Let's
Just
go.
a Halo chorus.
Yeah. But yeah, assuming nobody stops us, make our way to the Dawnflower as Ruff goes off to Whirlwind.
Okay, so you're going to Warlewin.
Yeah, he's going to venture over to the Stone Ring Pond to see if they're there.
Yeah, there's always a little retinue of druids kicking around, and Warlewin is nearly always, at their side. And it's just Ruff approaching?
Yep. Whirlywin, may I take a moment of your time?
Of course. Have a seat.
He'll kind of pull her a little bit away from the other group of druids there so they can't hear. He doesn't want to incite panic in the denizens of Otari, and he doesn't know what telling them any really details about what's happened to Krugga will do. So he's going to attempt to speak to Warlewin quietly and directly. We made it down to a further level on this last trip. And Krugga has been inflicted with quite a strong instance of a spell called Nevermind. Normally this is primal and occult, but you and your druids have knowledge outside of these two spectres, of which Tulok and I are masters. So I came to consult you and see if there was anything a natural world could offer to counteract a curse.
I appreciate you coming to me. It's lifting afflictions is sort of what we do in a way, but you are mistaken on one account, my friend. It is not under the primal tradition, whatever mind, power. It is indeed arcanic in nature, but also occultic. I understand why you would know this spell, but It's not in my purview to lift it. Though I might have some access to the removing of some afflictions, the cleansing of them. But what you described to me, for it to be beyond the power of your companions, I'm afraid it would certainly be beyond my own power.
Your candor and your time are appreciated, as is your counsel, Whirlwind. I would be remiss if I did not ask. But if you will excuse me, Tulok, Kraka, and Lump are waiting for me. May I count on your discretion with these particular news?
Discretion, of course. And if you trust in my discretion, perhaps you will allow me to search out others in our network amongst the druidic people. Perhaps I can find someone who can help you with this sort of thing, though I cannot guarantee a time frame. If you let me, I will spread the word in a most subtle fashion. See what I can find.
Let. I would rejoice if you could aid our companion. He's been not only a vital ally in the fight against evil directly, but a vital ally against the evil within. His quips cure loneliness. His presence instills confidence. Please, anything within your power to return our friend to us. But I would prefer if this knowledge remained outside of Otari. Their citizens have enough to worry about with the oncoming onslaught, and I'll gesture to the gauntlet. This is why I ask for your discretion, but I trust your methods.
Our friend is an apt phrase. Crocker has never been one for the civilization, no matter how small the town may be. He's always been an ally of ours, at least in the realm of respecting and appreciating the land, living amongst the forest and nature. I will do what I can. Where do you hope to leave him? If you don't want the town to understand the affliction that's been put upon him, perhaps bringing him here might be your best resort, though we are perhaps most vulnerable to the godlight on the edges of the town.
That would be much appreciated. Our next stop is the Dawnflower to see if Vandy has any ability. I imagine we will touch everyone who has an expertise in any of the magical traditions. But should we need to rest him for a while, your hospitality would be second to none, I am sure.
Should you choose to put him in our charge, we will see him safe. She gives you like a kind of nod.
And Ruff will bow, because his eyes are definitely watering up at this point. He's been trying to keep this brave, happy, we can do this. This is within our realm, this positive attitude, because he's starting to remember little bits of himself. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to bring some of those traits back, but now that nobody's looking, this fucking hurts, and he will just...
I imagine the more time you spend in town, the more the memories flood back.
There's a reason he specifically hasn't been to Arthur's in townhouse yet.
Kind of love it because you have this. There's this element of pain in town that is like, for very different reasons, but kind of parallel to Lump. You know, it's like you both have this sense of something within the town of Otari that affects you deeply and that is difficult to handle.
Love it, but don't want to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he'll head to the Dawnflower. at that point.
And the you others have Lump and Tulak have gone ahead.
Yeah. You know what I keep thinking and keep forgetting to bring up? Was we haven't seen fucking Volok in forever. And I kept meaning to bring it up when we were on the devil floor. Because I'm like, I wonder if Eurevian let him through the force field. Or he somehow got around it. Or maybe because he was all these little fucking creepy crawlies, he could have gone down the stairs that were all crumbled. But either way, that little fucker is out there somewhere.
It sure is.
And I don't like it.
Always wriggling in the back of Tulak's mind, as it were. Always.
That's right.
wriggling. Yeah.
And they enter the Dawnflower.
Kruka following. I still can't get the image out of beyond the leash in my head. Following Lump, or in town known as Sal.
I did specify that it was tied around his waist.
Yeah, it's so good. And Tulak into the Dawnflower Library. What do you do?
Vandy? Vandy, are you here?
Just start calling up Vandy.
And then if he sees one of the young scribes or whoever running around, you, get Vandy for me. Now.
They're pretty quick to hop to attention, and for the hero of Watari, and they go find Vandy, who comes down in quick stride, still lively.
Tulak knows kind of the layout of the library, so he is leading them towards the room where bodies have been kept before, where he cured Jal of the curse. Like, he kind of is just heading in that direction to that room.
Vandy meets up with you quickly, and says, "Oh, Master Tulak, it's so good to see you. And Sal, lovely to see you again."
Lump looks very confused. One eye blinking.
Did you walk in without the scarf? Oh shit!
Yeah.
I missed that. So I was like, while you guys were coming into town, I was busy working with Duncan and doing shit.
You're
so
good.
I was not paying. Yeah,
Retake that.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering why earlier you were like, didn't say anything about the guards.
Yeah.
No, I totally missed that. It's dark. They weren't paying attention. Yeah. Yeah. Call that. Yeah. So, okay. So when you come to the Dawnflower Library, they're like, "Oh, Master Chi's like, hello, friend of Master Tulak." It's,
Please, get Vandy now.
yeah. And then, so you're heading towards, you said, where Carmen stole the sword? Is that what you said?
No, where there is a room where the dead have been prepared there, and where he cured Jal of his curse.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you go to like their sort of de facto infirmary, and you walk into this room, and it's still got a few books around on the shelves and stuff, but there's obviously some extra setup for some medical attention if needed, and some sort of beds or divans or little like shelves, what's like a window sill kind of things is set aside for people to lay on. It's not well designed for bodies, but has enough space for using the space for that such. Fuck, I can't use words. It's been repurposed. In many ways to suit an emergency. And as you step in and you're waiting for Vandy to come join you, you can't help but eye at the corner of your eye a very small body under a sheet on one of the windowsills, still gently reposed, waiting for burial.
Oh, shit. The slouch. The slouch?
Oh, it's Physic, yep. perhaps hits you in the feels real hard, real quick. Lump being a little, perhaps unaware, and Krucka completely and utterly unreactive. Perhaps Tulak feels quite alone for a quick moment.
Tulak, it's one of those feelings when you lose all feeling, and Tulak just kind of locks his eyes on this small figure and almost just floats across the floor towards it. And his arms feel like they're 1,000 pounds, and he can barely lift his arm, but just enough to kind of gently have the cover between a few of his fingers. He slides it down just enough to reveal the face. And he stares down at the lifeless eyes of Physic. And he just remembers Physic so full of life. And his nervous energy and his excitement, and it just drains him of energy seeing him lying like this. And you're right, he does feel alone in this moment. His eyes start to well up, and a single tear even down his cheek, because he's forgotten about the fact that they had to bury Physic. And he didn't forget about Physic, but he put this to the side, and he knows that Physic deserves more than that and deserves a good burial. So he is sad and ashamed.
Lump will just put a hand on Tulak's shoulder. Is this someone that you knew?
This is one of the original members. When we originally dove down into the Abomination vaults, we didn't even know the name. We had no idea what was in store for us. We just saw the light. It called to us and we answered. And now they're all gone, and more. And yet here I am. I remain. I feel the pain. And yet I push it aside. But what is the toll?
My pantheon teaches us to not give in to despair. It doesn't mean to not feel. It does mean to continue. And I like to believe that this person, this goblin, would rather know that you are doing the best that you can, and would probably tell you to go a little bit easier on yourself. And I know that's hard to hear right now with Krucka in the balance and being confronted with this person again. But it is important to remember that you are making a difference. And perhaps it is slightly easier for me to internalize these things because I served in the military and death was an accepted thing. And I don't know your complete reason for being here, but the fact is you continue to stand up each day, dust yourself off, and go again. And the gods that I worship would smile upon you for it. And the townspeople need you.
Tulak wipes the sleeve across his cheek, smearing the tear. He continues with his eyes down at Physic, but I think that he gains a little bit of hope from this. and just kind of gently slides the blanket back over Physic's face. I will continue, and I will never stop. Whatever toll it takes upon me, I will bring to Belcora fivefold. I know we've failed. I know she lives, and Volok lives. But we will not retreat, and this will not be our last day. And we will heal Krucka, and he will fight another day. And with that, he turns and just starts to walk back over towards getting Krucka settled.
And Vandy walks in.
Master Tulak.
Yes.
And immediately it was like turns to Lump.
And friend?
Lump just flashes two toothy grins and gives a small wave like, hi.
Friend, perhaps you met or heard of Sal.
Oh, I met Sal, of course. I met Sal at the Otari fishery. Vandy was there, right? Hold on. It was
don't think so.
Tamily.
It was
Oh
Tamily
no,
and
it was
Galentine.
Tamily and Galentine. Never mind.
Galentine,
Okay, yeah, my bad.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a bit. Yeah.
Sal, yes, I've heard of Sal coming through. One of the newest of the heroes.
Well, this is Lump, and they are our companion. Merely, they were disguised as Sal, their previous self, before the horrors of the Abomination vaults were worked upon their body. But Lump remains strong, and good-natured, and kind, and helpful. They have joined our cause.
It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Lump. Tulok is too kind in describing me. But Krucka here is why we have arrived on your doorstep tonight.
Of course, a very curious look is across her face, but not one that is, too nervous or too anxious or too disturbed. But she gives a little curt nod, but gives you, Lump, an eye of "I'd love to know more," but is happy to move along to with your direction towards Krucka. Okay. Nice to meet you.
We need for you to keep Krucka here. He's been cursed by the ghost. And Tulok catches himself because I don't think he is necessarily ready to say
Yeah.
what is exactly done it. So he catches himself and he says, a ghost, a spirit down there.
I see.
And I need to remove this curse, but I need more power. I need time to sleep. I need energy and to regain my strength before I can try again.
Well, of course, you can rest here if you need. Why do you come to me exactly, though? What is the nature of this curse?
It is called Nevermind. I'm simply here. Perhaps you could help guide me. Perhaps you knew something of this curse. But perhaps, moreover, it's just you and this place brings hope to the city and to me. And it's just a place where I think we should try to do this again.
She sort of, in her own way, balks at the mention of the spell. And as she sort of half listens to the rest of what you said, she slowly wanders over to Krucka and starts, pulling his eyelids, bottom eyelid down to look into his eye better, and kind of, turning his head a bit, and, doing a few small, simple stimulus reaction things, and very quickly finds that she's very unresponsive. And this look of concern really just furrows her brow. And And she kind of shakes her head and turns to you and says, I was not quite ready for the significant impact of what you've brought here. I guess a small kudos to you, Tulog, for handling it so stoically. And he is gone, isn't he, in his mind? I'm familiar with the spell in a way. Sorry. I don't know why I said
The
smell.
The spinel.
It's
It's a spinel.
The stink of orc in the morning.
It's a proper slip of the tongue.
That's going to be a good
When he's not at his hut, he spends his nights here romancing.
Oh, shit. I'm familiar enough with the spell, but it is certainly beyond my power to counteract. He was hit quite hard with a potent magic, wasn't he?
Truly.
Kraka might have been one for a simple life. He was not a simple creature. Seems to me this is an incredibly cruel injustice.
He was so smart. It's cruel to rob him of that.
He actually owes so many books back to this library, like an unreasonable amount.
You will never see those books.
I always forgave the loans because he loved his reading.
Wouldn't pay if he could.
He is, of course, welcome to stay within our care here, but something tells me you're looking for perhaps a little bit of subtlety in this matter,
Indeed.
especially regarding the ghost. She kind of gives you an eye. She caught your stumble. But I'm afraid it'll be difficult to keep such a secret here within the Dawnflower Library. Again, he's welcome to stay, but perhaps consider your options.
We will, and I appreciate your candor. We need to rest now.
And rest you shall. Are you going to stay here in the library or depart to your homes? In fact, I think Vandy would even suggest, if you would consider it, Morlevent might be a more subtle place for Kraka to exist for a while. Not a lot of traffic in that shop, and Morlevent
Wow,
would surely
shade.
understand. Well, by comparison to a public library, you know?
Thank you, Vandy.
Morlevent would surely understand the condition and perhaps even find some help within the lost mind of this wonderful creature.
Tulok nods, grabs the reins, and goes and leads him out.
It goes, what? Sorry, the listeners can't hear that.
Yeah. The listeners can. You can't.
Okay, I didn't hear it.
I think Discord just blocked it. I just did the little horse clicky noise.
Oh, okay. Definitely didn't hear it. Yeah.
And Tulok picks up the reins and leads him out.
You make your way back towards the middle of town. And as you head to, well, actually, Odd Stories is a little bit northern portion, mid-north. And as you cross one of the bridges, the bridge by the Crook's Nook, to make your way to the Odd Stories, you hear a bit of a kerfuffle to the south, down by the Otari fishery. In fact, you hear a kind of a raucous, roaring kind of panic almost, as as you crossing the bridge, you can see people are pouring out of the venue. Where again, there's usually like a games night most nights after sundown. There's people playing dominoes and checkers and poker and what have you, and enjoying a drink and a bite. And it's a very popular joint, and people are pouring out of it in a bit of a panic.
I mean,
That's not our business, Tulok. Let's carry on. How far away is Morlevent from here, Tulok?
to the north of town.
Okay. Let's tie Krucka off here and go help with whatever that is.
Just give him a feed bag and you're on your way.
I'm in the horse post outside the Crook's Nook.
I'm sorry. If Krucka was dead, I wouldn't be cracking jokes, but he's just being funny. It's fine.
It's perfect. It's so good.
But yes, I believe we should investigate.
Let's go.
All right, so you tie off Krucka and do a quick wander down, and there's a seems to be it sounded like a bit of panic, but as you get closer, it seems to be a more of a gout of confusion, where someone had it's like when someone says fire in a movie theater and everyone runs out, but then they're kind of like, where's the evidence of the fire? It's like this weird kind of like vibe, like, okay, we all ran out, but like, what's the deal? I'm not seeing any evidence of what happened. I don't really believe it anymore. You push your way through and get yourself to the entrance. And popping your head into the front door, you just see Tamali standing there, peg leg, with adorned with pink and black ribbons. Arms folded across her chest. Actually, kind of folded across, but like one hand is like pointing that finger. Like pointing that finger and giving a rant to someone's face. And that someone is this small little dragon kobold creature. She's just like poking at its nose, at its snout, going, "What on earth are you doing in me basement? What have you done, and why are you here? Explain yourself." And that's where we're going to call it.
Oh, come on. No character voice?
Come on, Don. Give us a character voice. Give us a little sample.
I'm actually really glad that happened because I was not doing well on practicing that character voice muted off mic. Somebody's going to have to mute that. But it's going to be something like, well, if it isn't, the heroes are there. Yeah, I'm going to have to work on that.
I love it.
Stemming the Tide is an actual play podcast of the Adventure Path Abomination Vaults and is produced by the Uncharted North Network. Stemming the Tide uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's community use policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. Stemming the Tide is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. Music is composed by Will Savino and artwork by Greyhood. Stemming the Tide is recorded remotely using Foundry Virtual Tabletop. If you wish to connect with us or support this project and projects to come, we can be found at unchartednorth.ca, patreon.com/unchartednorth, and on all major social media platforms. Links to all credits can be found in the episode description and our website. Thanks for tuning in.